say is Deadpool. Team Deadpool. The latest instalment is set to be released 2024. So Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman have taken to social media today. I'm going to play some of that conversation for you very soon. So we were deciding amongst the team, was Hugh Jackman better as Wolverine or was he better as himself? Which is the sexier? That's what we were doing. We share it with you on the show. That's what it's about. It's your show. You're part of a team. Thank you very much for your company. Back in 2009, a lad from South Shields won the X Factor, and perhaps one of Joe McElderry's most memorable moments on the show was singing alongside this fella. Take a listen. When I'm losing everything, it's like the sun going down on me. I can't actually believe I'm going to introduce this man on the stage. The one and only George Michael! Watching that on the telly. Love George Michael. Well, Joe is about to start his tour. It's a Freedom, a tribute to the songs of George Michael, which he's bringing to the City Hall in Newcastle next month. So we popped into the studio to tell me all about it.
Do you know what? It's very exciting. I'm a little bit nervous. Obviously, it's a huge legacy of music and an incredible artist that we all love. But I'm really excited. I've been rehearsing the last few weeks, and obviously, you just forget how brilliant the songs are, how some of the, massive up-tempo pop sing-along numbers and then heartbreakingly beautiful ballads. So we've got a real mix of both, and I think the audience are going to love it.
Of course they are.
Yeah,
of course
I'm excited.
I think with George Michael as well, you've got two camps. You've got the getting ready for a night out music, and then if you put on something like Listen Without Prejudice, then you can just chill, can't you? And
yeah,
it's a mix of both.
Like Jesus to a Child, You Have Been Loved, like beautiful, heartbreaking songs actually, but to do them live in a concert setting, it's going to be really special. And it's been great kind of going through all of the back catalogue of stuff, and I kind of knew it anyways, because obviously although when a lot of his music was released I was quite young, my mum is the biggest George Michael fan, like obsessed, so I grew up with all of that music anyways, and obviously got to sing with him on the show, which was an amazing moment.
And when you look back at those videos, you're just a band, and you can see in your eyes, it's like, is this really happening?
Yeah.
So when you watch back videos like that, what do you think?
Do you know what, the last, during lockdown and stuff and the pandemic it was the first time I've kind of reflected on all of that stuff, because you spend, you know what it's like in the industry of kind of entertainment and broadcasting and things, you always kind of just leave the show behind and onto the next thing, and you're on that treadmill all the time, and I had been for a good 9-10 years of just constantly finishing something, literally having 3 days off, going straight on the next thing, packing a suitcase. So when lockdown hit, I kind of had all of that time to sit, and I spent a couple of nights out with a bottle of red wine, kind of flicking through YouTube, which I've never done before, and watching it all and being like, oh my God, I forgot that happened, I forgot this happened, and I actually realised how young I was. That whole experience of him coming on the show was such a quick turnaround, because he hadn't agreed to come on the show until midnight on the Thursday evening before the Saturday show, and everybody else had their duet partners except me. They were like, we're still working on yours, obviously unbeknown to me, because it was George Michael, and X Factor was at its peak at that point. So I think there was that thing of do I come on a show like that, do I not? Because he was quite a private artist in that sense, and when they rang us at midnight on the Thursday evening, they were like, George Michael's agreed to come on the show and sing with you. And I just remember thinking, he's not going to come on this show, he's not going to, because he's an icon, and not to say that anybody else that was on the show wasn't, but I just think there's certain artists, isn't there, that you almost don't think they're real, and for me, he was one of those. So when he turned up at the rehearsal, I was like, oh my God, it's actually happening, we're doing this.
When you got that call then, even though it was midnight, did you ring your mum?
I rang her and she said, you know what, the first thing, there is no way he will be coming on the show and sing with you. And I was like, well, he is, and even when I stood there, that introduction bit, the famous X Factor introduction where you go, please welcome the stage, I had this horrible feeling that the doors were just going to open and he wouldn't be there, but he was. It was an incredible moment.
So once you get over that you're going to be performing with them, and that's when the work starts, but the work starts really quickly, because you've got to be up to the top of your game by the Saturday night for a live show. What was he like as an artist behind the scenes in terms of the rehearsal process?
Well, we rehearsed on the Saturday, and it was about 5:30 on the afternoon.
Oh,
it was X Factor is such a quick turnaround with a lot of the stuff, and he got stuck in traffic. He was stuck in traffic on the M25 to get into the studio at Wembley. so they said, he's running late, so we're going to do your sound check first, and then when he gets there, we'll do a camera rehearsal. So it's now like knocking on to like literally an hour before the show, 6 p.m. And I'm stood there, and you could feel the atmosphere in the room because he was a massive star, and you could feel that thing of like people waiting and being like, oh my God, this is like a big moment for the show. And I'm just thinking, God, keep it together, Joe, like, come on. And somebody came out on the stage, tapped us on the shoulder, this young woman, and she said, can you just come with me, please, Joe? And she took us backstage, and he was just stood in the wings behind the television set. And he just went, I didn't feel it was appropriate to kind of meet you in front of everyone. So I just want to say, my name's George. It's an absolute privilege to sing with you today, and let's make this moment all about you. And we walked out on the stage together, and he honestly did do that. He was just so given and humble, and he gave me all of the high parts of the song, and we hadn't rehearsed any of them high harmonies that he does. And he stopped the song, and he's like, you need to do them, this is about you, and we want to put you in a great light, like for people to vote for you. So just really humble and lovely, and then invited me and Cheryl back into his dressing room for a cup of tea. Little 18-year-old me sitting with Cheryl and George Michael, we're all in dressing gowns, drinking a cup of tea, and I was just thinking, this is definitely a one for the book, I think.
Sounds almost like a cheese dream, doesn't it?
It was. He was so lovely and just made the whole experience really normal. And I think you could tell I was a little bit overwhelmed as well. One of the nicest people I've ever met in this industry. Really, really nice.
You know, the clips that you watched in lockdown, of course, we've seen many times. In fact, there's one in particular which has got 7 million views on YouTube.
Oh, wow.
Of you singing. And I just wonder what advice you would give to that young lad.
I think not to stress so much. I stressed about the industry so much in the first 3 years, and there were so many amazing things happening, you know, which still happen now, but I just enjoy them so much more now, and I don't I put so much pressure on me. I think that comes from X Factor as well, and the way it's positioned in the media and stuff. There's that pressure to do incredibly well and not fail, and like, you can't go through life and never fail. And I think I would probably say to myself back then, just enjoy the little moments, you know, and every now and again take a deep breath, take it in. And I've always done that now over the years, and as I got a little bit older, I try and do like the snapshot Polaroid picture moment. You know, when you're having one of those moments in life where you're like, I'm having a really great time. I try and like just stop for a couple of seconds, especially on stage, and breathe it in, take it in. But I wish I had done that in the first 3 years, because I was stressing about things that I didn't need to stress about. As you get older, I suppose it is just an age thing as well. Certain things don't matter anymore, do they? You know, and like I used to care about what everybody thought all the time, you know, and now I'm just like, oh, you know, you can't please everyone. And as long as you do things with a good heart and like are caring towards people, and you know what the main goal is in life, then who cares?
He's lush, isn't he? More from my guest Joe McElderry coming up in the next few minutes. And if you've seen any of his videos on TikTok, if you've seen him on Instagram, on social media, have a quick scroll if you've got time, because they are a hoot. You'll be finding out, if you've seen his TikTok videos, who he's performing with, because there was a lot of speculation. One of the ladies that he's performing with, is it Jo Brand? Is it Kathy Burke? Who is it? A little bit of Mamma Mia in a beautiful seaside resort. If you've seen it, you know exactly what I'm referring to. If you haven't, you've got a bit of time to try and find it, and then we'll wait to find out together.
On BBC iPlayer, Goliath.